82. Take no for a question. Take no for a question. Don't take no for the answer. Take it for a question. Make the word no mean this question. Can't you be more creative than that? अगर आपको कोई नो बोलता है तो फिर आप ऐसा आंसर मत लो. आप अपने आप से क्वेश्चन करो कि मैं क्या इससे ज़्यादा क्रिएटिव हो सकता हूँ. In my seminars, I work with a lot of sales people, and one of the most requested topic of the discussion is cold calling and rejection. मेरे सेमिनार के अंदर जो भी पब्लिक आते थे उसका एक कॉमन क्वेश्चन आता था फॉर कॉल कॉलिंग एंड रिजेक्शन के टॉपिक ऊपर. वन ऑफ द ग्रेटेस्ट प्रॉब्लम द सेल्स पीपल and the people everywhere face is the meaning they give to someone else no. The greatest problem, one of the greatest problem sales people and the people everywhere face is in the meaning they give to someone else no. Many people hear no as a absolute, final, and devastating personal rejection. Many people hear no as a absolute, final, and devastating personal rejection. But no can mean anything you want it to mean. But the no can mean anything you want it to mean. When I graduated from the college with the degree in English, I was not overwhelmed with the companies trying to hire me. Most people already speak English. So I decided to try to get a job as a sports writer at a daily evening newspaper in Tucson, Arizona. The newspaper's name is Tucson Citizen. The Tucson Citizen. I had spent 4 years in the army and I hadn't done any sports writing since high school. I hadn't done any sports writing since high school. When I applied for the job, I was told that my major problem was that I had never done any professional sports writing before. When I applied for job, I was told that my major problem was that I had never done any professional sports writing before. It was a typical situation for a company not being able to hire you because you haven't had experience. It was a typical situation of a company not being able to hire you because you have not had an experience. But how can you gain experience if no one will hire you? But how can you get the experience if no one will hire you? My first impulse was to take no to be their final answer. My first impulse was to take no to be their final answer. After all, that's what they said it was. After all, that's what they said it was. But I finally decided to have no mean can't you be more creative than that? But I finally decided to have no means can't you be more creative than that? So I went home to think and plot my next move. So I went home to think and plot my next move. The reason they wouldn't hire me was because I had no experience. When I asked them why that was important, they smiled and said, we have no way of knowing for sure whether you can hire sports. We have no way of knowing for sure whether you can write a sports. Just being an English major it's not enough. Just being an English major it's not enough. Then it hit me. Then it hit me. Their real problem wasn't my lack of experience. It was their lack of knowledge. It was their lack of knowledge. They didn't know whether I could write well enough. So I set out to solve their problem for them. I began to write them letters. I began to write them letters. I knew they were interviewing for other people for the position. I knew uh, they were interviewing four other people for that position, and they would decide within a month. Every day I wrote a letter to sports editor, the late Regis McCulley, an award-winning writer in his own right, who made his reputation in Cleveland before coming to Tucson. My letters were long and expensive. I made them creative and clever as I could, commenting on the sports news of the day and letting them know how great a fit I thought I was their staff, and letting them know how great a fit how great a fit I thought I was for their staff. After a month, Mr. McCulley called me and said that they had narrowed it down to two candidates. After a month, Mr. McCulley called me and said that they had narrowed it down to two candidates and I was one of them. Would I come for the final interview? I was so excited. I nearly swallowed the phone. When my interview was coming to the end, I was the second one in. McCulley had one last question for me. Let me ask you something, Steve, he said. If we hire you, will you promise that you will stop sending me those endless letters? I said I would stop. And then he laughed and said, then you are hired. You can start Monday. Then you are hired. You can start Monday. McCulley later told me that letters did the trick. McCulley later told me that the letters did the trick. First of all, they showed me that you could write. First of all, they show me that you could write, and he said, and second of all, they proved to me that you wanted the position more than the other candidate did. You wanted the position more than other candidate did. When you ask for something in professional life and it is denied to you, imagine that the no you heard is really question. When you ask for something in professional life and it is denied to you, imagine that the no you heard is really question. Can't you be more creative than that? Can't you be more creative than that? Never accept no at face value. Let rejection motivate you to get more creative. Thank you.